Okay, wait, come again. We cannot consume alcohol without a license.
No, you have to have a license to consume alcohol.
I had no idea about this.
Pune just brings you down to your comfort space. You would go to like restaurant Ritz, and that same person, 100% would love to eat a vada pav in Pune. Just another restaurant or a bar is not my competition anymore. Zomato is my big competition today. People wanting to sit at home and eating food is a big competition to me today. Street food vendors are my competition today. An average restaurant like ours have at least about 7 to 800 vendors registered with us, which could be toothpick vendor all the way to liquor vendors. There was a big wave where everybody thought becoming an entrepreneur is like a cool thing. You're willing to do hard work, but unfortunately it is not enough, especially with this industry. It's all about finance, it's all about calculations, it's all about numbers. We take India for granted.
After everything that's happening around, I feel India is still a better place.
It's the most comfortable place, I feel. Instagram, it can go viral, it can be popular, I'll get like 1 million likes and all of that, but that is not money. That is not going to sustain my restaurant.
There's one cafe, one restaurant, one nightclub opening every other week. How many of these do usually sustain?
To be blunt enough to you, 70% of the outlets shut down within the first 8 to 9 months.
Now the war, the government asked to shut down. How does it affect the industry?
Honestly, I can say it's a bit of a helpless situation. We don't know what to do.
Nightclubs, cafes, restaurants, dine-ins, breweries, coffee, beer, wine and dine, and glamorous influencers, high-end celebrity brand owners. Well, sounds glamorous, right? Who doesn't want to own a restaurant or a cafe by a shack or a nice bar at the local streets of Goa? Everyone dreams of a bakery in the hills, a cloud kitchen that was a dream, or maybe a nice cafe after retirement. Are you one of those? Especially post-COVID, India has seen an entrepreneurial wave, and in that, hospitality is the biggest industry. F&B contributes highly to India's economy. This is a space where everyone wants to innovate and have the ownership. Everyone sees the glam, the marketing, the high spending, great ambience, and what people don't see is this is one of the toughest brands to sustain. Well, even the stats say that. And if you have questions just like I do, let's hear it from the right person who's not just owned successful brands, but has also broken every stereotype in this industry. Welcome to Breaking Stereotypes, where we embrace every choice, empower every thought, and encourage every individual to create a change. Presented by the SAP Media, production partner Pack Studios, and sponsored by Dr. Stuti Karesh Shukla's Elements of Aesthetics. I'm your host, Sudakshana Chatla, and welcome to the show. In today's episode, we have Kunal Mhaske with us, someone who I have known closely, seen evolve and grow to the heights in this hospitality industry. Kunal Mhaske is the founder and managing director of Grandeur Hotels. He has redefined dining, nightlife, and cafe culture. With his iconic brands like the Penthouse, Rasta Café, Coco Sushi Bar, now Living Room by Coco, and this third place, he has always redefined spacing, experience, and the culture. He has created experiences that one cannot forget. And these are the brands which are long-standing even after a decade. With MSc in Sustainability and Management from the London University, Kunal has been a pioneer in this industry in Pune. While this is his entrepreneurial portfolio, he's been an Ironman athlete, a coffee enthusiast, and somebody who builds with a purpose. Kunal reflects a mix of discipline, scalability, profitability, and evolving with the culture. So finally, we are here, Kunal.
Hi.
So before we talk about this complex, most unorganized, cluttered, yet one of the most important industries of the nation, contributing to India's economy, before we get there, let's talk a little about you. Your history. It's been a decade that I'm seeing you evolving, growing, changing. There was once Kunal Mhaske where we would see till 3 a.m. at Penthouse, and now there are 5 a.m. where you're running and cycling. So let's talk about that journey of you getting into hospitality and then what's happening now.
So yeah, like you said, I started about 14 years back, and it started purely with a passion to be in this industry. I had a little bit of a past while I was studying. I did a lot of part-time jobs in very interesting spaces, like which were some nice cafes or restaurants or bars. I mean, pretty much more to do with some or the other form of F&B. And when I came back, obviously having a bit of a family business background of real estate and having a connection to do with the hospitality industry with a hotel that we have, which was built by my father in 1995 called Shantai Hotel. Uh, it did drive me and motivate me a little bit to enter into the F&B space, which was the new era of business models that were popping out. There were bigger potentials that were seen, where the numbers could be as big as a hotel or any other industry.
Right.
And yeah, that's how I think a little bit of passion and a bit of business sense that I put together. And the first project that was Pesto and Penthouse.
Yes.
So we did a lot of that kind of work where we brought in so many interesting things that I probably saw while I was traveling or living abroad, that we integrated to our business model, and it was very new and fresh for the city. I think that's one of the reasons why I even enjoyed bringing things and people adapted to it.
Right.
And that response was overwhelming, and it was nice to keep doing it again and again. I think that kind of, like I said, sort of put that seed in me that F&B is something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Long story short, we kept on and on going. It was a really nice ride for 10 years where we grew into multiple outlets, new brands, and yeah, straight down to COVID. I think where it was like up and onwards for 10 years and a fall flat to zero.
Right.
And I think that 2 years was a long time for me to sit down, think, replan, restructure, reinvent, rethink. And I think that was a new journey that started from late nights to early mornings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like you said, right, 10 years and Penthouse is still standing tall right there. You'll
Yeah.
see the crowd still dancing till 2 a.m. on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then you have something like third place. There's, like you said, COVID kind of got that change in you. Is that the personal change or in the mindset that also changed your perception towards the business and what you want to bring now to the city of Pune? Because you also mentioned you're well traveled and you keep on exploring things which will eventually work in Pune. Did COVID or the mindset in personal life bring a change to the business growth?
So, 100% it was a personal shift, but all my restaurants or the brands that I've created were always like, you know, personally curated,
Yeah.
which sort of suit my personality at that point of age and time that I was in. And nothing was pretentious about it. I mean, at a younger age, I thought Penthouse was the way I looked at my life, the way I wanted to socialize, the way I enjoyed with my friends, the way I interacted, and the energy levels were that high that I could, handle so many outlets of that high energy level, meeting so many people together every day, standing and working till like 3 a.m. in the morning. And over the period, yes, I did shift towards, you know, better lifestyle goals, I would say, in terms of sustaining, uh, you know, personal and work life balance
Yeah.
easily. I didn't want to like push anything. I wanted it to be very natural. I wanted it to be very organic. And I think that's how I started transforming my businesses, where I still don't have to put the same physical hours, but yet sustain the business exactly how I started.
Yeah.
So I think that is the shift probably we saw from Penthouse being a nightclub which was about 15,000 square feet to then being another one in the same place called Coco, and
We
then
all,
transforming slowly to a brand called Rasta Café, which was
yeah.
more like a neighborhood bar, and then moving towards inventing a new product line in my sort of business line, which was coffee, again, which came from my personal choice, and started small cafes, and now third place, which is more of a dining experience, which is more sit down, relax, more of conversations over lunches and dinners, over a coffee, over a glass of wine. So yeah, I mean, I think that's how even my life shifted, and that's how my business is shifting.
I guess we can see that because like I have experienced almost every brand of yours, from dancing at Penthouse to being in that the VVIP section. Pune was mad about being in that Coco
Yeah.
space, and then to the Camp Rasta Cafe, and then now eventually this.
Yeah.
I guess it has evolved, and with that, I feel while you evolve, people of Pune also evolve. What do you think about that?
So definitely there was a time where Pune was considered as a small city, and
Yeah.
now look where we are. It's grown minimum, like 20 times or 30 times in last 10 years,
Yeah.
which is to do with the size of the city, the population of the city, and definitely like with different businesses entering Pune. So it's got a lot of new people to the city. It's got different demographics. It's got people from tier 3 cities to tier 1 city. Some people have moved from Bombay to this city, and some people have even come from cities like Nasik, Aurangabad, Sangli, Satara.
Yeah.
So Pune is now a place which has everything and all kinds of people.
Yeah.
So I think finding the mid ground where you're still standing out with your brand and yet catering to everybody is what the thought process is today.
Yeah. And like you said, that the population has increased, everything in Pune is changing. But what do you think about the perception, like when a 30-year-old steps out versus when a Gen Z steps out versus when a 50-year-old couple steps out? Their choices are different. And I feel somewhere you are trying to cater to everyone.
Yeah.
But does that also challenge you in a way?
So 100% more than what we as entrepreneurs try to bring to the city is the people's perception, what they look at a city like. When the same person, any person who goes to Bombay,
Yeah.
their perception about going out is very different.
Right.
Likewise, the same person who would go to Goa, their perception of going out will be very different.
Right.
Like you will never go to Bombay and look for, let's say, very commonly a street food joint.
Yeah.
But likewise, you would not enter Goa and say, "Oh, I'm going to have breakfast in W and lunch in
Yeah.
Taj and dinner in let's say Marriott." You want to go to the locals. You want to go to the local bars. You want to go to the local shacks.
Right.
Pune, I think, stands right in between,
Yeah.
where we have everything, all kinds of people, but I feel it still lacks of a bit of a perception. And I think that's the biggest challenge that we face,
True.
where because it's right in the middle, it's nor here nor there. And that's where I feel that either you open a very generic place and cater to the masses, or if it's a specialty sort of a concept, then you have to keep it niche. Otherwise, 100% you're going to face a lot of challenges.
But what is your perception? Do you go mass audience type or do you keep it niche?
So now I've tried to find a bit of a balance, whereon like I said, as a size, Penthouse is big, so I've transformed it from so-called the VIP culture to more approachable for everybody now to go there, have more affordable drinks, get out every day, get to party every weekend, and trying to bring a product like Third Place, which is niche. That's why you would probably see this is much smaller than what I've done before. Um, to the specific people who are looking for peace in this chaos,
Yeah.
in this city, who are looking for a product with great ingredients, a product where you would consciously get here and eat. You have your own valid reason why you would want to come to Third Place, and or rather get out to a place, whether it's a cup of coffee or a salad or even to just come here and sit and work.
Yeah.
Is that quietness that if you want is what Third Place is about.
But like you said, the city has that variation, that versatility. And then there are people who'll spend a 400 rupee, they'll spend 400 rupees on a coffee, but they'll also have a cutting chai of 20 rupees. And I'm talking about people who can actually afford, or even they have the potential, be it from the ITs or, businessmen. We have a mix of that in Pune.
Yeah.
And that is also somewhere I feel that brings like I said, the versatility to the city. What is your take on that?
So 100%, like I said, it's the characteristics of Pune that makes a customer behavior.
Yeah.
So I've never seen money as a problem in Pune. But I think lifestyle is a little bit different than any other city, where people would love to spend more automatically in a city like Bombay,
Hmm.
but something happens when it is in Pune where you know all of a sudden they try to find an average product or a cheaper product,
Yeah.
or they would
An
probably decide a
alternative.
place based on offers, or decide a place based on you know easy accessibility, or just something around the corner, which is not lifestyle oriented. It is not about what their lifestyle is. It's not about how much money they own. It automatically just brings Pune just brings you down to your comfort space.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel, like you said, I mean, whether you would go to like restaurant Ritz like UKO, and that same person 100% would love to eat a vada pav in Pune. Now, that is not seen in bigger cities. People choose a certain lifestyle and they live by it.
Yeah.
Very rarely they would probably step out and try something else once they've defined their lifestyle or their particular places that they love to go. But I think Pune goes everywhere. Like I said, I mean, you will see everybody in Pune who would go to any of the five stars that are around KP, or the popular ones in Pune, and the same small bars or cafes in Pune. You will see them at both the places.
Yeah. But how much percentage of Pune is this the lifestyle based one? Who are these people, or what is the percentage of people who would maintain their lifestyle irrespective of what is happening in the city?
There is a substantial number, 100%. But I think it's the old Pune crowd, the real Pune people. I think they still have a certain lifestyle that they live by.
Yeah.
But like I said, now that percentage is probably 10 or
Yeah.
15%
Yeah.
compared to the whole population of Pune.
Right.
So if you remember back in the time, if you go out to any of the restaurants or bars, you would probably know 50% of the people there. But
Yeah.
which is very
We spoke
unlikely
about
now
this.
that you go to any place and you probably might find maximum one or two people that you know, and then rest is everybody else.
Yeah.
So these new people who moved to Pune are actually dominating the F&B space. They are the real customers today. They are the ones who are probably running the whole ecosystem of F&B business. And I think that's where we've seen a whole shift of Pune F&B space, where back in the time we had bigger places, bigger brands. In nightclubs, we've had Fire and Ice, we've had Blue Frog, we've had, you name the place and it was here.
Yeah.
The concerts that happened back in the time,
Yeah.
you name the brand and it was here. NH7 started here.
Yeah.
And now going down, I think even in restaurant spaces, we had Indigo back in the time, we had Spaghetti Kitchen, Cafe Manji, Olive, all these big brands who came to Pune, and now all of a sudden there's nobody. And now everything is back to like either new brands, new startups, new restaurants, local brands, and very few of these big brands.
Why?
Uh, I think because, like I said, initially the growth of the city was in a different direction. I think it was more towards the industrial side. We had a lot of influx of expats
Yeah.
because of the industries that were popping out in Chakan and all these places. And then it took like a big twist to the IT sector.
Right.
And I think when we say IT, it is more of the back-end IT, right? So it did definitely give huge number in terms of jobs, but they had to fill it up with, the new generations who are just learning the computers and coding and IT stuff and everything. And then these people were probably like all around the other side of Pune, which is, like I mentioned, from Nasik, Sangli, Satara, Kolhapur, all these tier 2 and 3 cities.
Yeah.
And when they came in, I think it was too much for them to just see big brands. And they probably thought they wanted something more local. They wanted something which is a bit higher than their city, but not as high as a Bombay brand. Whether it could be the perception of the brand, whether it could be the price point of the brand. And I think that's where it created that big space where, everybody started opening their own restaurants in Pune, and they started getting that response because we had that population coming in.
While there is population and demand, and there's one cafe, one restaurant, one nightclub opening every other week, how many of these do usually sustain? Because I don't remember anything that has been here for long, apart from maybe 2, 3, or 4 brands. Even though the radius is increasing, you have Baner, Balewadi.
Yeah.
Initially, it was only Korega Park. Party or a good place, you want to dress up and go, it was Korega Park.
Yeah.
Now it is everywhere. But how many of these brands at least sustain a year or 2 or 3?
I think To be blunt enough to you, 70% of the outlets shut down within the first 8 to 9 months, um, which is the current situation. Because I think it is too many places, too many outlets, easy entry to start a cafe,
Yeah.
to start a business like this, just based on seeing what's happening around, seeing crowded places. And also, passion is not the only thing you need for this business.
Take notes.
So, unfortunately, I think there was a big wave where, everybody thought becoming an entrepreneur is like a cool thing, and, you need passion, you're willing to do hard work. But unfortunately, it is not enough, especially with this industry. It's all about finance, it's all about calculations, it's all about numbers.
But every group I have, I feel at least there's one person who is like, I want to open a restaurant or a nightclub or a bakery in the hills, or maybe I want to retire and go and have a nice, on the shack, a bar or something. Everyone is like, that is what we want to do, especially post COVID. I feel that is where your entrepreneurial wave that you were talking about came in, because everybody had the time to sit in and think about their passion. Okay, this is my hobby. If I can bake, then maybe I can open a nice, cool dessert place. Or if I cook well, maybe I should open a cloud kitchen. All of this started happening. And like you said, passion is not enough. And there's risk, there's calculation, there's finances. But even if somebody comes with finances, consider they have like plenty of money, would they be able to sustain?
So I think it is a little bit of, I blame this thing to the Instagram, where, a lot of this inspiration actually came out of Instagram for people. When it was COVID, everybody all of a sudden stopped, right?
Yeah.
And I think most of them thought the other side was greener always.
Yeah.
That what have I been doing? When somebody got a chance to step down and like just stay quiet, then you start thinking deeper. And I think that's where everybody felt that the other side is much greener. And everybody, I think, all of a sudden started retiring of their mainstream jobs. Everybody wanted to be in the mountains. Everybody wanted
Yeah.
to step down, move to Goa, places like this. And I think this all looked very nice on Instagram. But the reality, I think, was very different. Even the Goa market, I feel, though I've not been in that market to do business, but what I've seen is a lot of people moved all of a sudden to Goa thinking they'll live there now.
Yeah.
They'll make a nice place, small business, very European style. But look, 5 years down the line, I think half of them are coming back again.
Right.
Half of them have realized that it was a big bubble. Prices shot up like anything. There was no calculations done. People just thought everybody's opening, so we should also open. They didn't know where to stop. Until now, people were opening places. But somewhere down the line today, I think everybody's getting conscious that after seeing that whatever started in last couple of years are shutting down again, whether it's Airbnb business, whether it's villas, whether it's restaurants, cafes, even for that matter, boutique stores,
Yeah.
everybody, like, you can't just do it because it's a trend or a wave. It has to be calculated and it has to be sustainable. As simple as that. Like I said, passion can only pull it off longer for you. You'll just probably keep holding on to it even though times are bad or tough. But at the end of the day, it will only sustain if the numbers are right and your demand and supply is on point.
But what if it's a chef, who's been in the industry, who's been in the inside of the industry? What if a chef plans to open maybe in a partnership or maybe get some great investment? Don't you think they will have the knack of the industry and understand how the industry works?
100% a chef is one of the most key aspects of a restaurant, especially when it's a food outlet.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of success stories of chef run restaurants or chef owned brands. And there is massive scope in it. But at the same time, I think all the chefs have to be aware that being a good chef doesn't mean being a good restaurateur. It's two different things. When you're a chef, your 90% focus is on
Food.
let's say food and 10% is on the management. But it is exactly the opposite when you open a restaurant. Your 90% focus has to be on the entire operations and running a restaurant, including finances, managing staff, your entire marketing angle, your licenses, your policies, all of these things. And then eventually 10% focus goes towards your product. And I think that's where it eventually fails. So if a chef wants to open a restaurant, 100% I would suggest start initially with things like chef's tables, supper clubs, small pop-ups, small takeovers. And once you know you're confident about putting everything together and converting that into a successful business model, then maybe 100% you should go forward and open a restaurant. But until then, I would not just suggest anybody to just step into it opening a restaurant just because you've been a chef for 10 years or have an experience of cooking or creating good food for 10 years and then just jump into making a big restaurant.
Like you mentioned, there's more to the work because a chef has to suddenly start looking at different aspects of the restaurant, the licenses, the policies, the laws, or even the team or management, hiring, the smallest thing. Consider if someone who's watching this wants to open up a restaurant. Would you suggest, would you even ask them to do that? And if yes, then what would be the way forward? In
Before I
2026.
suggest, I would say, why would you want to get into this business? What is the reason? Like, why? Frankly, because if the data and the statistics say that 80% of the restaurants have failed in their first 1 year, you know, and it's the same place converting into another place, another person tries it and another person tries it. Look at the Pune market, all the statistics are in front of everybody. Whether it was KP 15 years back, you take a list of restaurants which were in KP and compare it with the list with today, you'll probably find only 2 3 surviving. You take Kalyani Nagar, same story. You take Viman Nagar, same story. You take Baner, when Baner popped up as a big new market and everybody was eyeing on it with Balewadi High Street coming out. You see the way the brands came in, the business moved in, and then what? So again, like the statistics are in front, and that's the big question. Why would you still do it?
Don't you think people have a perception मैं कुछ नया करूँगा, ambience अलग कर दूँगा, खाना कुछ अलग करूँगा. Like they're like, I'll make a USP.
So, how many ever people have spoken to me about opening a restaurant, and that probably was a number of at least 100 plus people. Everybody thought their idea is new. Everybody thought what they want to do, nobody's done it. And again, trust me, it's in the same place with the same food, same bar, just a different name. And just a different name doesn't mean it's a new concept or a new idea. The business is the same. The whole story of how an F&B runs is the same. It could be as old as a Vaishali to as new as a Bastion. Is the same thumb rule and is the same process, which is difficult, which is tough. And I think it's a big choice and a big decision. Again, like I said, why would you want to do it? And if you know, like, if there are 10 questions of why would you want to do it, I think you should have 9 of them correct before you decide you want to open a restaurant.
And what would be those 9 things that one has to keep in mind before they start?
Well, I mean, various factors based on what background you come from, how much time you have in hand, how young or old are you, how much energy you keep, what are your management skills, what are your financial situations, how you raise funds, how you invest, what is the idea, what is your team, who is supporting you with this, who is going to stand with you in the tough times, what is your backup, what is a backup ka backup, all these aspects. And then I think your idea should come in that, yes, now this is the idea I want to do. Because,
Wow.
I mean, frankly speaking, there are, when you see a restaurant from the facade and it looks nice and you see like a bunch of people sitting, it's good music and everything. Trust me, I think if anybody sees the same time what's going on in the back end, it'll demotivate the person to open a restaurant.
Take a tour of the back end before you think of
100%. I mean, whether you have the full funds to open your own restaurant with a good backing, or whether you're a startup and trying to raise funds, or a chef who's very good and passionate and has a great idea to run a restaurant, should always spend some time either in their friend's restaurant or a well established brand or a good team to work with them at least for minimum 6 months. I mean, it's the most important recommendation to work regardless of who you are, where you come from, how much money you have. Just work in a restaurant on ground and deal with your everyday things. I think that will give clarity to everybody, whether they still want to open or not.
And how many people out of 10 would want to open and will be successful to open?
So honestly, it's a very personal thing of how to make a restaurant successful. Frankly, I don't see there is a perfect recipe to run a restaurant, especially in a city like Pune. Because if you have such diversified crowd,
Yeah.
with based on the jobs, the passion, and probably the demographics of, where they come from, what are their likings, what products they choose, and obviously the financial, earnings that they have, and what is their disposable income. Basically, you have to keep working on your product again and again, again and again, again and again, till you fit in a space where, yes, now you feel that it's an organic process where you break even, you have your profits coming in. And I think that's where the passion needs to come in, of how you can create new ideas and new things to put in your business to make it more successful and develop it into a brand. But the basics is, I think, the minute you open the doors of a restaurant till you shut it, there should be an organic form of doing business, just to kind of sustain and survive for a long term till you become a brand or actually make money.
Should one go solo or start in partnerships? Because I have seen you always solo.
Uh, Partnerships are very tricky. So if it's a small specialized product, start solo, face all the challenges, go through everything, see the business, understand everything, get it right. If you fail, do it once again. If you want to, correct all your mistakes. And when you see your brand is growing, loved by the people, and has scalability, then definitely partnership is one way to go ahead and scale it out, because it's also not just the money. You need more people in this business.
Right.
The better, I mean, the more people that support you and help you, the better. So partnership is definitely needed in this industry if you want to scale up, grow, go multi cities. But at the same time, work with the like-minded people, work with people you can talk and discuss every dark side of this business, because everybody can have their own ideas, and bringing everybody to the same page is not always that happens.
Yeah.
So just work with the right people, have the right partnerships, and move on.
Tell me about these 1-8 communes or bastions. They are opening a restaurant in every popular city. How long will this sustain? Like, if you can probably predict this for us, and is it really sustainable? We don't know what's happening on the numbers part.
See, honestly, that's a different ball game altogether. This, when we see celebrity, branded restaurants, it's not the celebrity who's the expert or the brainchild behind it.
Yeah.
It's always somebody else.
Yeah.
Celebrities are partnering because either they are funding the whole thing,
Yeah.
and also using their name and identity as marketing.
Yeah.
But they're not the specialty restaurants. They're more experiential.
Yeah.
So it's a corporate world. It's
Yeah.
not a individual person behind this. It needs a lot of funds. It needs, it has a bigger and a longer roadmap.
Yeah.
So whether it becomes successful or not, only time can say.
Okay. And what if someone wants to open a restaurant today in Koregaon Park? If maybe they have enough funds also. If you can give me a breakdown on what is the investment like, or what kind of things they have to look forward to, or the risks or the challenges. Something which is more specific to the numbers, or even maybe the rentals or the kind of team, or what goes behind that.
So currently, firstly, I would ask somebody to just deep dive into the policies of the government policies and licensing of a restaurant. It's very, very important now moving forward that everything has to be super structured for the ease of operations. I think that's where the biggest gap is, where a lot of people jump into this last. They end up, like selecting the place first, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then obviously, before you even think how much investment is going to go in, you've already chosen a place just because you've liked it, or just because there was probably another restaurant which was running here and which did really well.
Yeah.
So I think first is you deep dive into the licensing of the place, the government policies where you fit in, whether the restaurant's 100% legal, your kitchen is in the right space, your society permissions where you exist are okay with you running a restaurant, your indoor outdoor permissions, your locality around the basically the neighborhood, if it's not going to be you know a disturbance to everybody, having enough parking for your restaurants, all these aspects are first. And then once you have the place, obviously budgeting the whole investment, whether it's your kitchen equipments, whether it's your interiors, whether it's your any other products like your coffee machines, your music systems, your you know furniture, all these things. uh, these aspects needs to be all done before you even decide that yes, I still want to open a restaurant. Because honestly, 90% of the restaurants have crossed twice the budgets once they've stepped into it and started working on making the restaurant. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons also you start suffering from first month, that you overspend. I mean, my simple question is that you're entering into a business where you're spending, let's say, a crore and a half or two, with a new brand name, with a new team, your first time doing this business, you don't know who your customers are. All your risks have been taken already, your money has been put in, your clock has started ticking, your rental has started, your expenses have started of salaries, light bills, all these things. And then you open doors to customers and wait for them to walk in. So would you do that in any other business? Or would you have everything else in place, your customers in place? If you're inventing or starting a product, let's say whether it's any manufacturing or any trading business, you would identify your customers first.
Right.
You would find what is the demand for that product. You would probably go and tie up with some places, and then start a business where you're supplying to them. But this is exactly opposite. All your risks are taken first without even knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. So I think that is something that needs to be restructured by people who want to open this restaurant. That clearly first identify the supply and demand situation. See the demand of your particular choice or a product that you want to put in, and what is your competition like, what is the price point like, and the fact that how many people can you actually have from day one, just numbers wise. I'm not even saying yes, my friends will walk in, I'll do this launch and I'll do that, nothing random. Very specifically, how many seats can you start occupying from day one? Because that's probably the only way you will start marking your growth, and eventually knowing whether it's the second month or the third month where you might reach to a break even point, and thereon you'll start making money. And planning your finances of the shortfall of money that is going to be needed in the first month and the second month. I mean, I've seen so many restaurants have been opening where they've already over exhausted their budgets and investment, they've crossed their limits and invested more, they've had a big launch, and the first month itself, when there's a shortfall of funds, they don't know where to get it from. And it's sad to see something like that, because sometimes the product is nice, the people involved are nice, everything is nice, but just the planning has gone wrong. And especially with the promoters or the people who want to open a new restaurant. And these scenarios have happened, trust me, with everybody, including me. Like, sometimes we just get confident about this and start, and let's see how it goes. But let's see is not a strategy anymore. It is probably luck and let's see was there back in the time. But today, with the current competition and the market situation, where just another restaurant or a bar is not my competition anymore. Zomato is my big competition today. People wanting to sit at home and eating food is a big competition to me today. Street food vendors are my competition today. You see,
Wow.
Pune is dominating with IT segment.
Yeah.
Every IT has a bunch of street food vendors right opposite them.
Never
But you'll
thought
see like
about
the
that.
food courts in the buildings suffering. You'll see like a CCD outlet or another coffee shop in the building being empty, and bang opposite the IT building, you'll see all the stalls full, like full. And I've never wondered how and why this happens.
Yeah.
What do they exactly sell? Because as per my statistics and mathematics of a restaurant, you know, opening something like this does not fit in the policies, does not fit in the licenses. I don't even know the legality of the property, whether it's owned, rented, or just a footpath. And then, like even the cleanliness, the hygiene, the security of even having a gas cylinder, your burners, all these aspects, it does not fit in that. But yet, there is massive demand there, and people are sitting there and eating.
But India loves street food. I feel a lot of people are going to probably question this to you also. A lot of people's livelihood is dependent on that. People are going to argue that, street food, it's India's culture and the yumminess, and people crave for street food. Okay, let's go have dosa here, let's go have Maggi ठेले का 12 बजे वो वाला पोहा खुला रहता है, let's
Yeah.
go eat there. And so this has always been there, right? So how come today that is a competition for you?
So street food, 100%, because the food is good.
Yeah.
Indian food is good.
Yeah.
Indian products are good. But my only objection is that why this cannot be legalized as any other restaurant or bar. Why it cannot be questioned for all these things that a restaurant gets questioned for.
Yeah.
From both the sides, whether it's the authorities or whether it's the customers.
Yeah.
If a customer comes to me and questions every single hygiene of my place, why would they not question a street food guy?
Yeah. I guess one thing on the plate or by the dish, even if it's by mistake, immediately there's a review put up and the consumer is like,
Yeah, no, 100%.
I'm paying $600 for this. How come you're not
No,
giving me
even
this?
not just about the food, but the environment. We get questioned that why the temperature is low. I mean high today. We are feeling hot. Why your AC is not working? Why the music is like this? Why your seating is like this? It's too noisy. It's too this. Too obviously down to the hygiene of the food, the service, and all these things. But the same thing on the street is completely ignored. You're okay to sit under the sun, under a thela or a chapper or whatever it is, which is on trampoline, eating your whole thali as a lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're not questioning where if this particular spot is on the road, where is the water coming from? How is he cleaning his plates? What is the water? Is this the same water that is going in the food? Nobody questions it. So, numbers wise, they are having more footfall than any other restaurant.
Wow. Never
Now,
thought
it's
of
the
it.
same thing with the authorities as well. The minute we are in a restaurant and a rented space and an official spot, we have to go by all the guidelines. We have to follow the taxation policies. We have to follow the licensing policies. We have to take care of the legal issues where it comes to drinking and all of these things. We have to have parking. We have to have everything. But who questions a street food vendor? Where do they, I mean, if there are 30 people standing on a Maggie Thela, where are they parking? Of course, on the road. And then we still complain about the traffic in Pune. We still complain. But at the end of the day, it's the same customers. It's the same people. We promote so many things for the corporates. We have so many offers and deals for the corporates on Zomato and corporate bookings and lunches and everything. So it's the same customer. So definitely that is competition for me.
I don't think so ever. If a street vendor, if he ever listens to this, I don't think so even he would believe that they are becoming a competition to restaurants.
So statistics wise, I mean, if we say, let's say a population, IT population on Pune probably must be what, randomly 20, 25 lakhs. Let's say, people working in all the corporate sectors, pockets like Kharadi, Hinjawdi, your any other space that is completely office based. Everybody's actually having at least one or maybe like 1.5 meal outside the house.
Yeah.
And that can be an average of anything from, let's say, 200 rupees up to like 500 rupees.
Yeah.
And if you calculate that number daily, it's in crores. So that is that chunk which is coming out of the restaurants that have opened around the IT sector, cafes that have opened around the IT sector, and it is directly going into the street food.
So if this is just the chunk that you're calling is 25-30 lakhs of people, which is 200 of 300 per day, Then what is happening in India is throughout F&B then contributes to half the economy. I don't know. Please correct
Yeah,
me.
I mean, I honestly, F&B is a very integral part of the Indian economy, I feel, in many aspects. I think, I mean, like we were discussing the other day, if let's say a population of India is about 140 crores, and then if you break it down into parts, I feel still, let's say about 50 crores of the people are moving around in different cities, working in different cities, probably whether it's a one-day work or literally moving there to just live there and work, are actually having at least 1 or 2 meals outside,
Yeah.
or maybe like an average of 4 meals in a week.
Yeah.
And if you sum that number up to even 100 rupees, let's say 40 crores into 100 is like what? I mean, almost what, 4,000 crores are we talking about? And this is, imagine the tax that is supposed to be collected on that is a huge number. But definitely the street food vendors are not in this category. We cannot count, and that's probably why I think we don't have the exact number. Where do we stand exactly in terms of economy? Now, jobs, I mean, just to see the organized sector of F&B, every restaurant, I mean, I think a city like Pune has about, this was something that I checked last year, more than 9,000 restaurants registered on Pune Zomato.
Wow.
So
9,000.
9,000. So imagine how many jobs are.
But are these all licensed?
So Zomato, definitely it has to
Okay.
be there, but this I'm talking about just Zomato. This
Then-
I'm not talking about the street food guys. I'm not talking about people who do not have licenses. I'm not talking about home bakers. I'm not talking about, anything that is probably not there on the paper. This is just official ones. And even if you say there are probably like, 10, minimum 10 people working behind this, there's still like about 10 lakh odd people, just having jobs based on F&B here.
And this is directly. Consider everything that's going around F&B.
Yeah.
Like,
So the back end is the supply chain. I mean, like I said, an average restaurant like ours have at least about 700 to 800 vendors registered with us, which could be probably a toothpick vendor to all the way to liquor vendors, to your cleaning materials, to your ingredients in to your buying the kitchen equipments, to your gas, to your, I don't know, everything in this restaurant, right, comes from a vendor. So that ecosystem is completely different. So a lot of things do actually function on day to day this thing, and eventually it trickles down to being, connected with the farmers as well,
yeah.
because that's where the produce is coming from.
Yeah.
So it is a full blown ecosystem,
Yeah.
which at every stage, is doing business. And if you club the entire number, it is a big number for the economy.
But then, where is the government? What is it doing? If you have to follow rules, regulations, licenses, tell me also a bit about the licenses part. Because if somebody wants to start, with liquor or without liquor, what is happening on the, on the other side? How does one get a license? And first of all, I want to understand, because you also mentioned you're quite well traveled. Um, in India and abroad, if someone wants to open a restaurant or even a cloud kitchen, can anyone and everyone open, or is there a license to even, sell food basically?
100%. Everything is licensed. Everything has to be licensed. There are various licenses or NOCs that you need for a restaurant, which is true with food. Definitely, you need the first, which is your food license, which comes under FSSAI. Then you have to have if you're cooking with fire, you have to have a fire NOC. You have to have a shop act license. You have to be registered for the GST,
Yeah.
and obviously you have to have like the entire. If you have number of 10, more than 10 staff working, you have to be under the PF, Provident Fund, and ESI category as well. And on the other side, if you're a bar, you need police permissions, you need excise permission license to sell alcohol. Uh, you need, I think, I think there's a list of full 10 to 15 licenses that you need for a restaurant and a bar.
Wow.
And anybody can get it as long as your space fits in all the legal aspects. Anybody can apply for it.
Is that the same abroad too?
No. So the liquor license and the excise license varies from state to state in India and country to country, obviously. because there are so many countries where there is a different procedure of licensing altogether, uh, where it's offline license and in-house license. Offlines are basically for supermarkets to sell liquor and stuff like that, and otherwise a bar has a different license. In fact, I think some of the countries abroad even have like various categories where you would have like a wine bar license, a restaurant license, a nightclub license.
Yeah.
I think in India, or in rather Maharashtra, we have only one license as the FL3, and then there is a wine and a beer license for restaurants. But on the same license, you can open a restaurant or a bar or even a nightclub.
Okay. And there's no rule to it. You can just take the license and open.
No, like I said, there has to be all the NOCs needs to be in place.
Okay.
Like, so it starts with the police and the traffic license, where your location, your spot shouldn't be a problem
Yeah.
when it gets crowded. Then your, you as an individual also should have a police verification done where you're not from a criminal background or you're not, uh, you know, uh, like it. Police has to give you a no objection certificate for you to apply for a license. So they do your background check, and then definitely, yeah, anybody can get a license.
So your checking is done by the authorities. What about the people consuming alcohol? Who's checking them?
So
Because
that is the Maharashtra state license, right? So Maharashtra is a prohibited state for alcohol. So you have to have a license to sell, and you need a license to consume also. So
Okay, wait, come again. We cannot consume alcohol without a license.
no, you have to have a license to consume alcohol. Everybody,
Even anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere in Maharashtra.
Like it is a
Yeah,
bar, restaurant.
I'm sure everybody's read about it and aware of it now with the papers and incidences that have happened in the past that you need to have a license to drink, which you get at any excise office or a wine shop also, where you either it's a one-day permit or you can even have a permanent license. So you have to go, you apply, and you pay a small nominal fee, and you get a license to drink.
And how many of them are doing that in Maharashtra?
Numbers wise, I don't think I have the current stats, but I still would say everybody should read about this and go and get your own licenses.
I had no idea about this, I'll be
You
honest.
should be the first one and then show it on camera. This is the license.
Yeah, I feel no one knows about this, and
Yeah, I think
I'm surprised actually.
it is a little bit of a responsibility first individually to know the rules and the law of the city. Second, definitely the restaurateurs and wine shop owners should also promote this,
Yeah.
because by law it is mandatory. It is like a driving license for your car. Just because you're above 18 doesn't mean you can start driving. You still have to have a license.
Have a license.
So likewise, the age that is defined, which is 21 years for your wine and beers and 25 for the hard liquor, there is a specific license for it which you need to go and get.
Don't you think, as consumers, if we are responsible and if we ensure that these things are in place, half the incidents that we complain about will probably drop down?
Yeah, like, I mean, I can as simple as this. I can just compare it with driving, right? It
Yeah.
solves
Yeah.
all the problems. Your data is with the officers, so if there is an incident or any issue, we know what is the problem, where it's coming from. So it's just a nice thing to keep a track of. Like I said, it's just a simple procedure to go to any wine shop or an excise office and produce your ID. And if you're above the limit age, then you can just get your license to consume. And then you can,
I feel somewhere in India, as consumers or as citizens, we complain about everything that's going wrong, but we don't really follow anything that is being done right.
So
Like from
yeah.
throwing kachra on the street to even getting a license to drink, I don't think so. I feel this could be, my opinion. I feel half of them do not follow the rules, and then we complain about the traffic, we complain about the kachra on the street, then we complain about the government. And let's not even talk about the government initiatives, but at least what is being done, I don't think so we respect that enough. And we're busy just writing a Google review about how bad is the place.
No, that definitely is a little bit of an issue. We take everything very casually, as I think in general.
Yeah.
all the laws have been set, all the data is out on internet. It's just a lack of research. And I would not just blame, you know, everybody randomly. This is a bit of a confusion in a city like Pune because, like I said, every state has its own excise rules.
Yeah.
So what is mandatory here might not be mandatory elsewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one of the reasons people are not aware about this, because probably in their state it is a different excise law. Like, you know, say Gujarat is a dry state.
Yeah.
So they would probably don't even know about what is a drinking license or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I said, Maharashtra is a prohibited state. So it has its own laws. While other places where even the taxation policies, the excise duties are different. That's why you'll see in different states the alcohols are even way cheaper than Maharashtra.
Right.
So every state has its own laws, which I think individually you have to do a little bit of a research and check.
Yeah.
It's exactly how we go abroad and a little bit research about their rules and regulations and laws. We need to do that in India too.
Yeah.
We take India for granted.
I feel we do, at least after everything that's happening around. I feel India is still a better place where we can really grow and
It's the
make
most
sure.
comfortable place, I feel.
Yeah.
We just need to respect it more.
True, true. With that said about the government, how much is the government doing the right things for the F&B space, be it the policies, the regulations, or the funds? How much is the government doing right for you guys?
It is a bit unstructured because we do not fall into under any ministry as such. We don't have one single minister or ministry where F&B fits into. So we are connected with multiple, government offices.
Hmm.
Police is a complete different segment. Taxation is a complete different segment. Your tourism, partially where we fall into, is
Yeah.
a complete different segment. So based on this, I feel it's a little scattered, and that is where I feel we do not have one single rescue point or one single point of contact to go to when we are a little bit in trouble. Situations like COVID, situations like
The
we
war.
recently had the gas problem.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so at that point, we don't know who to actually go to. So maybe that is where there is a little bit of a gap where we need to sort of get more clarity, like other industries where there is, even for example, like the petroleum knows who to go to, the aviation knows who to go to, the automobile knows who to go to.
Yeah.
I think this is where, being such a big industry from all parts and all aspects of F&B, I think that's a little bit of an issue.
But like you said, the COVID situation, now the war, the government asked to shut down. How does it affect the industry? Because obviously it's just gone flat.
Honestly, I can say it's a bit of a helpless situation. We don't know what to do. I mean, I like, when there's no gas, we were asked to convert into either induction or either,
Cool.
you know, coal or wood was another option. But I see that a bit of a challenge where it comes to just randomly burning wood in the restaurant or burning coal in the restaurant, which might be an issue to the security and safety of the
Then
fire
what
norms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somehow we had to cut down our menu. We had to reduce our items and deal with the situation and just go with the induction. What else could we do?
And that is what happens
Yeah, that
every
is what
time.
happens. I mean, COVID was a similar situation when everything was shut down. We didn't know what to do with the staff. We didn't know whether to continue the salaries, for how long to do it. The rentals of the properties were a question mark from both the ends. Landlords were wondering for how long can they even help. Will the government intervene and sort of find a mid ground, pass some sort of a law, temporary law, for us to sustain and reopen? But yeah, we waited for quite some time. There was nothing.
So nothing happened.
So yeah, this is why I even always tell people that it is not as nice and beautiful as it looks.
Yeah, because it's
There is
like
a
so
lot of
glamorous.
question marks, there's a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of ifs and buts behind the facade of what you see of a restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I would today not confidently tell anybody to just, yes, if it's your passion, go open a restaurant.
Yeah.
No.
Big no. So we discussed what goes behind, we have discussed what goes after and before starting, and it is a tough industry. We have understood that. But let's talk about marketing, which is a very important part. And every hotelier or a restaurant we have worked with, there is a different concept. There's something different, even though everything is same. How much does that matter? Because everyone is running behind the ambience now. They want it Instagram friendly. They want everything that can go on social media. Then they're putting in a lot of funds in making the interiors, getting these designers to everything, and then comes even menu designing or a logo or a name. And today, there are series running on that. We see the Mumbai brands like Mokai and all going crazy and
Yeah.
all out. And then you have celeb brands, which are also, it's just the way they are marketed,
Yeah.
right? That it's just a celebrity brand, you have to be there, the bastions, and there's nothing different. It's the same. I want to understand your perspective and your take on how much should one actually invest in these things, and what goes behind this.
So, marketing 100% is very important in today's aspect because of various reasons, right? I mean, obviously, to announce that you opened in this city,
Yeah.
you've launched a unique product, or if it's something different, it needs marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing can be for your location, your product, your uh, branding, and obviously, like your day to day
Yeah.
functioning of a restaurant. So, it is very important, but I think it still comes a little bit after your, actual product. Your product needs to be yet stronger. Every time, even if you're opening a second or a third restaurant, it still needs to even be better and stronger.
Yeah.
If it's your first restaurant, it should be equivalent to the best players in the market. And marketing has two sides, right? I mean, one can be like for sales, and the other can be like for awareness.
Yeah.
So I feel your marketing should be always focused on the awareness. Sales is something that can only and only come back again and again to you through word of mouth. And that's your product that is going to talk.
Right.
So definitely the points that you mentioned, having a celebrity angle to it, making fun content around it, making, like stories behind your brand. These are a yes and a no, but I think it is a very temporary aspect. Once you're known in the market, it's even difficult to keep continuing producing content because frankly, I'm not that kind of a person when it comes to my brands.
Yeah. I
You
see
know,
that.
reason being because that gets too much to do, which diverts your attention from your actual product. And like I said, that probably contributes like 20% to my business in terms of monetary values. Instagram, it can go viral, it can be popular. I'll get like 1 million likes and all of that, but that is not money. That is not going to sustain my restaurant. So I still feel that people should yet, do this in your extra time if your restaurant is doing already well
Well.
and you're financially taken care of.
Yeah.
But yes, it is important.
Yeah. And today we see, like I say, a lot of entrepreneurs coming in. They open a one product brand too, like maybe a donut or a chai or only a sushi brand. Or it can be like an Asian continental, and then there's just coffee and brewery. They'll travel the world and they come back and open a coffee. And
Yeah.
I've also seen a lot of well-traveled people opening successful restaurants.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a coincidence or if there's a reality. And you also come from the same category. How does one choose in a place like Mumbai or Pune on what to open and when?
Uh, so definitely there is potential now in one product cafe or a QSR or a restaurant. Um, you can even create a brand out of donuts, which Mad Over Donuts have done
Yeah.
to you can even create a brand out of a vada pav, which Jumbo King has done.
Right.
So chai, we've seen local Pune brands doing it to somebody like a Tea Post.
Yeah.
So definitely there is a potential in every single thing because bigger cities and metros in India have the advantage of population, right? So imagine like we talk about just chai, an average person consumes twice or thrice a day to coffees which is consumed by a lot of people by at least once a day, or food wise, so like I said, I mean there are 4 to 5 meals potentially a person can have throughout the day.
Yeah.
So one product can be for fun, one product can be your dessert or anything. So there is a lot of power when the population is so nice and high, and that's why you've seen places like a kebab shop can be like popular all of a sudden. A bene dosa can pull off like thousands of people to even like off the head a shawarma brand can be like popular all of a sudden to so many things.
Yeah.
So I think that's a right way to even think of if you're looking at expanding into multiple cities. If you're a chef or if you're a startup, that kind of a product has much more growth options than a restaurant, because it can start with a small investment, it can start with a small space, capture that local market, move on to another local market whether you're in the same city,
Yeah.
then in the same structure, in the same model where it's easily like optimized
Scalable.
and defined, and systems are in place, then you just copy paste in every city. Like I said, the most important thing is if the investment and the ticket size is small, it can grow. And definitely if your customer base is larger, then you can definitely see the potential of your brand where it turns it into valuations and numbers and so on and so forth.
So do you think that kind of format is much more scalable than a restaurant?
Today's time, I would recommend 100% to go into a QSR model or to do one or two products, cafe or a restaurant, and specialize in that. Because, like I said, it boils down to the same thing. It's exactly what the street food guys are doing.
Yeah.
That you have that one good Maggie, you have that one good vada pav, and everybody comes.
Yeah.
And you have that one guy who's famous for his pani puri. You have that one guy who's famous for his dokla. You have that one guy who's famous for his sandwiches.
Yeah.
And trust me, people smell it and go there.
Yeah.
There's no location, there's no address, there's no marketing, there's no your social media story, there's no celebrity. But that guy, everybody knows in the city.
Yeah.
That one vada pav guy, that one bhel guy.
Yeah.
So see, that is the potential. We just need to think originally and old school that why this happens. This is not written in any books. This is the OG way of doing business.
Yeah.
Just have that one good product. And even honestly, as a consumer, even if it's a big restaurant, we still look at that one restaurant कि इधर का butter chicken अच्छा है, and then you end up going there for everything.
Yeah.
इधर का बिरयानी अच्छा है. So you just have to have that one good solid product.
Yeah.
But that tells you, right, that that one product can do everything for you.
Would Kunal Mhaske do something like this?
Maybe going forward, if I'm opening more restaurants, definitely it is going to be that one product.
Yeah. We'll wait for it.
Yeah.
But I feel in India there has been this coffee wave with, after the runners club, after Pilates, there's a coffee wave.
Yeah.
Again, I feel because people are now traveling a lot, they have this exposure to understand the beans or to understand good coffee. Because for us Indians, coffee was only Nescafe or brew, right?
Yeah.
Now it is like, अच्छा वहाँ के beans है, मैंने खुद बनाया है.
right.
Even on social media, it's become like a wave. Now I don't know if it's a fad or a trend or it's really going to be there longer. I know there are certain kind of people who actually like to experience good coffee, and then there are people who are doing it for the fad, like matcha. How do you think the whole coffee brewery or the coffee industry is changing, and the consumers are changing too? Because you also have one.
So definitely on Instagram, though it is trending and it's a fad, but coffee's always existed.
Yeah.
It's always been there. It's just that India's seen the new wave because exactly how India's been dominated by chai. So that did not allow coffee to enter into that space for the longest time. But also globally, the lifestyle is shifting, right? People are opting more healthier options. People are choosing to consume less alcohol and, focus more on a little bit of well-being, healthy habits, or, you know, just a general upgrade in their lifestyle. So I think coffee is trickled down from there, that people have started consuming coffee, which, whatever, for reason of caffeine or to just stay more sharper throughout the day or more active throughout the day. And yeah, probably that's what has come down to India as well. And people have started exploring that more. Also, a bigger factor was the option of work from home, which converted into working from cafes.
Yeah.
So definitely that's where, people started going out and sitting in more of cafes. So that gave a new opening that yes, you can open a coffee shop
Yeah.
and have people coming there every day as a habit.
Right.
And coffee is something that you can probably come back for again and again in the same place also.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's come from. And partially it is a fad also because if it does not 100% fit in our culture, it is not going to last.
True.
So I would recommend people not to like go very excited about, yes, it's a new trend of business and coffee shops is the new thing. And just because you see Instagram posts of coffee raves and everything, it does not really exist in reality. People do think before even spending 200 rupees on a cup of coffee
Yeah.
every day. And people do think before even, like just buying coffees every day, whether it's their everyday drink or it's just something to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I've still not figured out whether it's a trend or a genuine business model to open a coffee shop. Frankly, also because what stops you from making a good coffee at home? So if you're a coffee drinker, why would you spend about 500 rupees every day on something that you can even do at home? So eventually, how does it become a sustainable model where you're renting out a space for a lakh and a half or two, buying a coffee machine worth 4 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, having staff, having, so many expenses just to sell a 200 rupees drink to a person who can probably just have one and walk off.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis, alcohol or anything that a person sits and drinks 5 glasses or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think
Then
so.
why would you have same expenses to sell a cup of coffee?
Right.
Somewhere it is going to be hitting your numbers and hitting your
But it can
profits.
be like a sub brand or, with
Yeah, as a byproduct of your
Yeah.
cafe or a restaurant is fine.
fine. Yeah.
But the question you asked that, people are actually opening specialty coffee
Yeah.
brands and outlets. I see that as a fad.
One thing I feel we missed is people investing a lot in the interiors, creating like these spaces for Instagram, and they're going all out. I would like you to cover a little because most of your places are also very Instagram friendly. You have those corners, you have those mirrors and these fancy things, and there are people who are doing maybe a theme-wise restaurant. What's your take on that part?
So interiors is a very important part of your space, but not the most important part. So I think you should sensibly invest in interiors, but definitely you should tastefully do your spaces because people do come out for an experience.
Yeah.
If it was just food, you can eat it at home, you can eat it anywhere. And street food guys are doing that job
Already.
So when you're
Yes.
coming to the restaurant, yes, you are expecting a lot more. So interiors are important, but I think sometimes people just go overboard where they're trying to fit in a theme or they're trying to fit in, like just for the Instagram sake.
Yeah.
See, once that initial aspect of the look of the restaurant is over, then what next?
Yeah.
And also, the second thing is when you spend a lot on your interiors, it also is a bigger responsibility to maintain it and to keep it intact. And it is very difficult to maintain a space as a restaurant or a home. A home is going to be used by those 5 people every day. A restaurant is used by 500 people every day. So it is very difficult to keep it as good as it was when it opened, or to keep it as clean as it was, or to even keep refurbishing it, or so I think that initial investment you rather save for you to keep upgrading your restaurant based on styling the place or changing it a little bit year on year, rather than putting everything in day one.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
So break it or keep it edition. Well, I'll give you a statement that is very stereotypical or very common in this industry or as an entrepreneur, and then you give me your input, a short answer basically. Work-life balance doesn't exist for entrepreneurs.
Of course it does.
You are the role model.
Yeah, not really, but I mean, it's just the time management, right? Like you have to do it. I feel um, it's needed specifically to just sustain in your, the pressures that you're going to face
Yeah.
in day-to-day life of your business.
Yeah.
So it's nice to like take a little bit of time off before you start your day
Yeah.
to sort of just do what you like, have your own space, think, and then start the day. And I think it's an everyday thing.
Yeah, yeah. Because for me, that's the goal. Like, have a farm, have some horses like Kunal does, have a nice car, and that's it. If not a restaurant, a nice office to go and work.
I think that you should keep for the retirement. I just was blessed with having, this carried forward for a little bit from my family. So, yeah, but I do try to maintain that.
Yeah. Okay. You need to sacrifice everything to build something big, at least for that time period.
No, not really. I don't think there is, sacrifice is a big word. You just have to do something that you really love. And I don't think it is sacrifice then.
Were you questioned like by the family or partner when you were busy building all of this?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has opinions. Everybody has their own way of looking at things in different aspects. But you have to, like I said, if you believe in it, if you love it, go for it. That's about it.
Yeah. Passion is enough to build a successful business.
No, not at all. Passion is, like I said, it's the only thing that will drive you to continue with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you might not get bored, but that's definitely not the only thing.
Scaling fast is always better than growing slow.
Not at all. Fast forward, there's no rush, honestly. Everybody feels that, everything has to be done today. But I think the sustainable aspect of business is only in slow growth.
Especially in the world of social media and the Gen Z and the millennials, isn't there a pressure always, or I don't know if we have taken up that, we need to be on that Forbes 30 list, we need to be here, we need to do that, be a billionaire by the age of 25. That hustle culture has also come in.
Like I said, Instagram is not something that you should believe in everything. At the end of the day, it does motivate you.
Yeah.
But the reality is not what you see on Instagram. The reality is what you face on day-to-day life. So I think there's no rush. I mean, because if success is what you're looking at, there are many things that fall under what is a successful life. So as long as you're happy, you wouldn't really care about the, achievements of when they come and where you're listed in.
Okay. All home bakers or chef should start a setup like a cloud kitchen or something.
No, I mean, like I said, if you're just because you're good at something doesn't mean firstly it has to be converted into business. Um, Second is, yes, if there is a potential, then why not explore it?
Okay. Okay. Hospitality is highly profitable business.
Can be if you do it right.
And how much percentage of the businesses today in hospitality industries are are profitable?
80% of them are trying to make profits.
Trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Prime locations guarantee success.
Again, no. And a yes. Prime locations give you easy start, but it will sustain only if it's a good product.
Yeah, I guess.
And like I said, if it's a good product, it might be a slow start, but people will look for you and come there.
I feel this street itself, this Koregaon Park street itself has seen every year a new brand opening up.
I mean, not just Koregaon Park, every city, every country, their high streets have seen ups and downs for all the brands, whether they are small local brands or the big luxury brands.
Instagram presence can make or break a restaurant.
Yes. I mean, if your presence is good, it does keep reminding people about your place. But yes, it can also break it because if one mistake you do and it goes there, can also go viral and make you down.
Yeah. What would success mean to Kunal Mhaske?
Satisfaction.
Okay. Now this or that format, you have to pick one. A Asian restaurant in Koregaon Park or a all-day cafe?
An all-day cafe.
A dosa or a QSR chain or a premium fine dine restaurant?
Today's time in a city like Pune, a QSR chain.
Okay. Cloud kitchen model or experience drive-in or
For
dine-in
me,
space?
experience dining.
Okay. High rental prime location or a offbeat experiential location?
I always prefer offbeat places.
You aren't Korean Paka.
Yeah, but not on the ground floor.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's also unique. Right. Strong menu and great food quality or high-end interiors and ambience.
Definitely strong menu and a good product.
Instagram first or product first brand.
Product first brand.
Influencer-led brand or an operator-led brand.
Operator-led brand.
Global franchisee or a homegrown local concept.
Homegrown local concept.
Scaling fast across the cities or one strong flagship outlet.
Today, one strong flagship outlet.
Okay. Nightclub business or a cafe culture. Coffee cafe.
Both. Because they're two different things and both has great potential if you do it right.
So before we wind up, I want one message from you for all the aspiring hoteliers. Half of them, I feel, have already dropped their dream by 50% off, watching this podcast. But what would be your one message to all of them? One as a hotelier, as a restaurateur, and then second as an entrepreneur.
So definitely, I would still recommend people to, keep looking forward to opening or entering this business.
Yeah.
All I would probably tell people is to be 100% aware about this business and make sure all your numbers are verified by professionals and you have enough experience to even start your first outlet.
Yeah.
Definitely, it is an interesting space to be in. It's a lot more fun to be active, but be aware about the stresses, the challenges that you have to face.
Yeah.
So, though the podcast has a lot of points where you might feel demotivated that why should I open a restaurant? But like I said, just get it right and it's a good space to be in because F&B is always going to be there.
Yeah.
It's a never ending business. It'll always have demand. It is a necessity. It does fit into a necessity category where people are traveling, people are moving around, people want to get out of the houses, and F&B plays the biggest role in that.
Yeah.
So there is great business opportunities, like we discussed in the start, that it is one of the biggest businesses in any country.
Yeah.
So there is potential. Just get it right, and also do it if it's meant for you to be there in that space. Don't just do it because it looks good or everybody is doing it.
Yeah. And lastly, one stereotype in this industry or in life general that you would want people to break and something that you have followed, like a principle or something that people believe in, which is not necessary.
So, as a restaurateur, I think do not forget you're still somebody without your restaurant. And live by that as well. Have your own identity because a lot of restaurateurs are always seen and known by their restaurant brand, and that becomes their identity. I think you should always try to keep it separate.
Thank you so much. I guess
Thank you.
the conversation was fun, and at the same time, I'm always very fascinated by everything that you speak. And I feel a lot of people will also agree to that and take away a lot of things because this is all there. Like you said, India already has the market, it has the audience, it has the potential buyers and consumers. It's just the right way to go about.
Yeah.
And if even one person who is watching this will make the right decision or maybe even connect with you, that's the vision and the goal. And thank you so
Definitely.
much for giving your time and always saying yes to whatever I ask for.
Thank
So,
you.
yes.
It's always interesting because the topics you talk, I think, are on point and not just for the Instagram. So
I hope this was for me and not
Yeah.
for the Instagram. Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice talking on this podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you all love the show. So keep learning, keep getting inspired, and keep breaking stereotypes. Like, follow, and share.